Nearly 18 months ago, I walked away from a good life, a good career, a comfortable income, a home I had spent 24 years to build, and came back to Malawi to start all over again. People have come and asked me, but why would you do that? Honestly, sometimes I ask myself the same question. You see, there was this question I couldn't get out of my head. What would happen when the thing that is actually paying you now, that thing, if it stops paying you, what would life look like then? Now I'm asking you, what happens when the income stops? Not just mine, yours, your partners, your business, your job, your salary. What happens when the thing that pays you stops paying you? Because I realized something that changed the way how I look at my life, my entire life. I had spent 24 years learning how to earn, but I wasn't sure if I had spent enough time learning how to build. And that is why I'm here. Now, you might look at this and think, okay, Eddie, you came back to Malawi to become a farmer. No, that's not really what this is. This is not about that. The farm is just where the experiment is actually happening, because I'm trying to answer a much bigger question. Can ordinary people turn their income, their experience, and resources into assets that actually create value? I don't know the answer yet, and that's important, because I'm not here to give you a motivational speech about how I figured everything out. I haven't. I'm here to find out, and I'm going to let you watch it. I'm going to let you watch me try. 24 years ago, I left Malawi. I moved to the United Kingdom, and I built a life, a good one. I worked hard. I learned. I grew. I built a career. I worked with large organizations, including Amazon, Lois TSB, Asda, also known as Walmart, Caper, and EMR. And those years taught me a lot: technology, operations, people management, processes. But more than anything, I learned about systems. I watched large organizations like Amazon build systems that could keep working even when the owners are not there. And that's the idea that stayed with me, because eventually I started asking, if these organizations can build systems that create value without the owner doing anything, why shouldn't I learn to do the same? Just like many people in the African diaspora, living and working in the UK was a dream. I worked, I sent money home, I helped family, I saved, I bought property. I tried to be responsible. I did what most of us are taught to do: get a good education, get a good job, work hard, earn more, save, and retire comfortably. And there is nothing wrong with that. It has worked for many people. But somewhere along the way, I started asking a different question. Where will I retire? In the UK or elsewhere in Africa? What will that life in my retirement look like? How long will I live without worrying about running out of money in my retirement? But most importantly, what am I actually building at the moment while I'm still working that will continue to create value even after retirement? Because there's a difference between earning an income and building an asset that continues to create value even after you have gone. Yes, you can earn a good salary and still depend on that salary every month. You can work for 30 years and still have to keep working because the thing you own don't produce enough value. You can be successful That thought bothered me a lot because I didn't want to spend the second half of my life simply protecting the life I had built. I wanted to learn how to build something that could keep going, something bigger than my time, something bigger than my labor, something that could eventually create opportunities for myself, for my kids, my grandkids, and others. So I made a decision. I came back to Malawi. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy, because living isn't just about leaving a country. You're leaving people you love, your family, or friends, familiar places, the little things you don't think about until they are gone. The conversations over dinner, the birthdays, the ordinary moments. Those are the things you miss the most. And then there was something that surprised me the most. I came home, but home had changed, and so had I. I was born here. I knew this place. I grew up here, but I had been away for 24 years. That's a long time. People had moved. People had changed. Some people I knew are no longer here. The places I remembered weren't always the same. And I realized something. You can belong to two places and still feel like you don't completely belong to either. That was hard, but eventually I started looking at it differently. Maybe I wasn't supposed to come back and find the old Malawi the same. Maybe I was supposed to come back and build something new. A blank page, that's what I found. No perfect plan, no unlimited money, no magic formula, just land, experience, ideas, and a lot of questions. So I started writing them down. Can I turn experiences into assets? Can those assets become businesses? Can those businesses create jobs? Can those businesses create more assets? Can the assets create more opportunities? And eventually, can all of this become something that outlives me? That's when I started thinking differently about money. Not just as something to earn, but as something to deploy. Not just as something to spend, but as something to build with. And that became the beginning of what I call productive capital. This farm is my lab. We are going to test these ideas here. We are going to grow crops, raise animals, build systems, find markets, move products, look at storage, look at processing, look at financing, look at technology, look at distribution, and we're going to follow the money. Where does value get created? Where does value get lost? Where can we get a small business owner participate? Where can we have an investor participate? Where can ordinary people create ownership? And most importantly, what actually works? Because here's the thing. I don't want to build this from a PowerPoint. I want to build it in the real world with real money, real people, real weather, real markets, real problems to solve, and real consequences. There's a part where I could be wrong, and I need to be honest with you. Some of this will fail. A crop might fail. A business idea might fail. A deal might fall apart. The numbers might not work. I might make terrible mistakes. You might watch an episode and say, Eddie, that was a bad idea. And you might be right. That's okay. Because I'm not here to pretend to have all the answers. I'm trying to find them. I'm not documenting my success stories here. I'm documenting my experiment. And that's what makes this different. You're not just going to see the harvest. You're going to see the planting. You're going to see the waiting. You're going to see the mistakes. You're going to see the numbers. You're going to see the decisions in real time. You're going to see what works and what doesn't. This isn't really about farming. And here's where you come in. You don't have to be a farmer. You might be a nurse working in Birmingham, care worker doing night shifts in Brixton, Manchester. You probably are a maths teacher in Toronto, Canada, an accountant in New York, a social worker in Sydney, a truck driver in Joburg, a lawyer in Nairobi, an engineer here in Malawi. You might be 25, you might be 55, you might even be thinking about retirement, or you might be just starting out. It doesn't matter, because I'm not asking you, do you want to become a farmer? I'm not asking, what are you building? What are you building with your income? What are you building with your experience? What are you building with your skills? What are you building with your relationships you've spent years creating? What are you building with the resources you already have? Because maybe the biggest mistake we make is asking, how much money can I make? When we should also be asking, what can I build with the money I make? That's where the idea of the destiny builder comes from. I don't believe your future should simply happen to you. I believe you can be more intentional about building it, not overnight. Not with some magic stick, but one decision, one asset, one business, one system, one step at a time. I want to build a community of people who think the same way. People who don't just want to watch other people build. People who want to build something of their own. That's why I've created the 5-day Destiny Builder Challenge. For 5 straight days, we are going to stop and look at your life from a different angle. Where are you now? What do you already have? What skills do you have? What experience have you gained? Where is your money going? What are you currently building? And what could you start building next? You don't need to have millions. You don't need to own a land. You don't need to quit your job. You don't even need to know exactly what you want to build yet. You just need to be willing to start asking better questions. By the end of the 5 days, my goal is for you to have the beginning of your own a productive capital blueprint. A single picture of what you love, what you want, and what you could start building. So, I've shared a bit of my story, or at least that's where the story begins. I don't know where this experiment will take me to. Maybe this farm becomes a successful business. Maybe it becomes much bigger. Maybe some ideas works. Maybe some don't. Maybe 5 years from now, I'll look back at these idiots and realize how much I got wrong. But that's okay, because I'm not trying to prove that I have all the answers. I'm trying to discover better ones. And maybe that's what the second half of life should be about. Not just asking, how much more can I earn? But asking, what can I build? Because income can help you live today. Assets can help you build tomorrow. But ownership can create something that continues beyond you. People may think I came back to Malawi to build a farm. They are wrong. I came back to learn how to build something that could create value, create opportunities, and hopefully outlive me. That's why I came here. You don't have to come home too. You really don't have to come home to do that. You don't have to become a farmer. You don't have to follow my path. This is mine. But I want to show you what I'm living, what I'm learning by trying. So if you're ready to stop being just a spectator and start thinking like a builder. Join me. Take the 5-day Destiny Builder Challenge and then come back here and tell me what you're building. Go in the comment section. Go and comment, I'm a Destiny Builder, below this video, because I want to know who is walking this road with me. It's Eddie, guys. This is my experiment, and this is the only beginning. So tell me, are you ready to become a Destiny Builder? Because if something I've said made you stop and think, don't just watch this episode. Join me. Take the 5-day Destiny Builder Challenge and start building your own productive capital blueprint. You don't need to be a farmer. You don't need to be a millionaire, and you don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to be willing to start. So go down and comment, I'm a Destiny Builder. That's your first step. Then use the link below to join the 5-day Destiny Builders Challenge waiting list. Because this community isn't about watching other people build their own future. It's about building yours. You see, I'm not documenting my success stories over here. I'm actually documenting my experiment, so you don't have to make the same mistakes I'm making. In this experiment, I'm sharing the good decisions, the bad decisions, the mistakes, the lessons, and everything in between. So don't just watch, build with me. I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.